It wasn't really a plot against George Peters, but I'll admit it might have looked that way the morning his wife Jane stopped by for coffee. We had just been in our new house 2 weeks, and I was still ecstatic over everything, especially my dream kitchen. Well, how do you like it?
There's only one word for it. Terrific.
You know, I'm so proud of it, it's almost indecent of me. I can hardly wait to show it off a week from Friday night.
Well, you go ahead and be indecent. Gal's got a right to enjoy her first housewarming party. Sure wish I was having one. You having many people?
Well, not a mob, if that's what you mean. Just you, the Crawfords, the Slagles, the Martins, and a couple of others. Hey, why so sad? And this isn't the first time I've noticed it.
Oh, nothing, really.
Not very convincing, Jane girl. Whatever it is, I've got just the cure for it. There's a sensational sale going on at Watson's. A new hat would be the ideal tonic for you. I'm going down this afternoon for a small spree. How about coming with me?
Oh, I wish I could, but it's just impossible. You've no idea how much I've got to do. Remember, I haven't got your dream kitchen to make things easier. Mine's strictly the nightmare type. And I wish George would do something about it. All he's done so far is talk, and not with any real enthusiasm.
About moving, you mean?
We've looked at a couple of older houses, but that's no improvement. We've got an older house.
If only there was some way of really selling George on the idea. The fifth freedom, maybe. Freedom from unnecessary drudgery. Freedom to go shopping when the urge hits you, or when there's a sale going on.
Well, sale or no sale, I'm swamped. Besides, my mother's been quite ill in Cleveland, and I've been thinking about taking the weekend off to visit her.
I've got to get my clothes in the dryer. I'll show you a couple of my prized beauties. This setup makes any day wash day for me. And I can do my drying in any kind of weather with a gas dryer. It couldn't be easier. It's completely automatic.
I remember seeing this washer in the magazine ad. It's automatic, too, isn't it?
That's right.
Isn't there a little colored guide light that follows the operation through the various stages?
Yes. I know exactly what's happening. I don't even have to watch a clock. Wait a minute. You say you're going to visit your mother this weekend. You know, Janie, my girl, this might prove a very fortunate trip for you. Now, just for kicks, don't get too far ahead in your housework. Now, why should you have to lay out everything all nice and ready for George and Jimmy, down to the last egg and can of salmon?
Oh, no, I couldn't. I'd have to make things easy for them. After all you've been going through, this might be the awakening for friend George. The big, bright dawn. It might do him a world of good to be left all alone with Jimmy for 2 or 3 days in your kitchen. Well, Jane finally got off for Cleveland. Still not too certain she was doing right by leaving George and Jimmy by themselves, even though George was absolutely sure they'd get along just fine. That's what he said, just fine. Of course, when you leave a man to his own devices, he's apt to think of something fancy, like curried chicken with rice. But in this case, George not only should have done a little more thinking about his recipe, but should have kept his eyes on the stove as well. Now, if he had just let his rice simmer instead of boiling. But frankly, I doubt if George knew how to bring things to a simmer. Well, maybe it was the mess, and maybe it was just the temperature out.